Welcome to the Truthful, Universal News Network. TON. No more mainstream media lies. It's time for the awakening.
The US and the UK are essentially under the same, it's the same cabal. They're playing out end times scenario, end times stuff now, which is, and this, for some reason they're following biblical stuff. And I think that there's some connection to the Bushes and the Four Horsemen, symbolically the Four Horsemen, and they are drawing back to them all the people who have the DNA from that particular family. Bauer Bush is the same family; it's a German family, and they used Father George Bush's DNA in a lot of the children who are connected with this particular project. And I think they're all being drawn back to specific places for energetic reasons and symbolic ritual reasons.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay, but what about you?
So I'm connected to that, and I'm connected to the Bushes. My middle names are Walker and Herbert, unfortunately. So there's a direct connection in that. Actually, the name Herbert was changed. Carabert is a French Merovingian family, so it goes back to Caesar. Anyway, that stream. So I'm connected to it. I have only over the last probably 9 months allowed myself to or stabilize myself in a way where I can recall a lot of the things that have happened, because I purposely blocked them out. So I don't know what exactly I'm doing. I just know what's happening. I know they're doing tests on me at the moment. They've been doing at night. I've been having. I think that they're shocked that I've been able to recoup and balance myself in such a quick amount of time. I think that I made a deal that I would do certain things a long time ago. I think I'm fulfilling those things. I'm not doing anything that I feel is morally wrong, but then again, like consciously, I'm not, the double agent and the separation thing that's going on, the altars, don't allow me to remember exactly what's happening. So I don't have the guilt connected to it. I think if I did, and if I knew that I probably wouldn't do it. I think that there'll be a new system of hierarchy. I don't think it's probably if you're taking it to an animal level. Right now, the vibration of this planet is on an animal level. It didn't used to be, but it is now. While it is on that level, it's working through a hierarchical structure. So it is like the strong survive. I'm connected to the Rothschild bloodline too, and the Bush bloodline. I am human. Everybody here is having the human experience. It's just some people have different fractions of DNA. So I don't just have reptilian DNA. I have a mixture,
Sure.
of a few different
Absolutely.
others. The higher amount of reptilian DNA would decide on that. Everybody has a core amount, and the higher of that, usually it stems from the reptilian brain, and the traits that come from that are defined in terms of the philosophy of what's going on. In 2008, I had when I turned 30, I had all bleed through for weeks at a time. I had bleed through of many memories, and I was always I think generally people who are led to these subjects and keep pushing towards these subjects have some connection to it. And I'd always been wanting to look up about this stuff. And then when it came 2008, when this came back, I realized and became more sure of what was going on in terms of me. But it's very difficult because I don't know enough detail. But I chose, there's a contract, there's a soul contract, and I've chosen to do this. I've chosen to be part of this and do this. I have quite a bit of knowledge about the Anunnaki. They're a species from Aldebaran, and they directly came here. I mean, a lot of the royal families, a lot of the European royal families have connections to that and them. But there are two factions of that. There's a rebellion part of the faction of the Anunnaki as well. So it's hard to define exactly what's going on because there's so much infighting. But it stems back to two brothers, actually. I have connections to CLC1 base, which is the Central London Underground base, and I think that's where the majority of my initial programming went on. The connections to Canada too. There's a base there. I mean, I know that I was in Canada. I know my parents were both there just before I was born. There was there's some tie to that Nelson in Canada and in London as well. And there have been memories of the Dulcie base that have come back to me over the last couple of years. Very clear memories of there. Wearing a uniform, actually working for it, but not feeling like myself, but not feeling like this person now talking to you. We're being weighed every time I had. Just clear memories having to be weighed before I could change floors or go through certain doorways. They'd have to weigh me. They were the first ones that came back, and seeing just some nasty stuff. Just seeing some pretty unbelievably brutal stuff, actually. Yeah, cages and things like that. Interesting. Tom Cruise seems to create movies because of his connection to Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard, and Hubbard's connections to Crowley, which is connected to Montauk. He seems to be playing out that, and it's most of his movies are encoded. In terms of survival dynamics and what's happening now, I think that we're going through a shift and a changeover. And I think there has to be some form of big change in the direction that everything's going, because it's fallen way, way off. I mean, it's fallen to an extremely low vibration, so something has to change. And I will look out for the ones that I love.
Share this video, click the like button, and subscribe to Ton.